Bitcoin to 180,000, Solana to 1,000, and SUI to $10. We're going to look at these potential price targets, who's saying this, and what it means for you. But before we get into that, I have a favor to ask you. I'm in the market for a new cold storage wallet, and there's new ones on the market. So I want to know if you're using a cold storage wallet and which one you're using. If you tell me down below which cold storage wallet you're using and why, I'd greatly appreciate it. Even if you put a potential link, even if you make some money on it, I'm fine with that too. But that being said, let's get into it. Let me share some big news with you. This is a very big week. Every week seems to be a big week for crypto. Lots of news comes out, but let me show you something what's coming up this week. Federal Open Market Committee meets this week, and they talk about the federal funds rate, and that's the rate at which banks borrow money, and it becomes the lower the rate, basically, it puts more liquidity in the marketplace. That's good for crypto, typically. So this week, they're talking, there's a 96% chance, right here, 96% chance the Fed's going to drop the rate to a quarter. There's a 4% chance they're going to keep it the same. So very slim chance they're going to keep the rate the same. And this is good. But let me show you something else. This graph right here that I had my buddy Chat help me create it graphs the federal funds rate versus the price of Bitcoin. Okay. I love ChatGPT, by the way. I've been using it since the day it came out to the public. But look at this. Back in September, September, the federal funds rate was high. They hadn't really dropped it yet significantly. And the price of Bitcoin was around 70K. And as we dropped that 50 basis point drop in September, Look what happened to the price of Bitcoin. It started to go up. Now, is it a direct correlation? There's a lot of other things going on in the world, but there is a correlation here. And look, obviously when Trump took office, it skyrocketed, but rates went lower. So I look at more liquidity in the marketplace as a possible catalyst for more people to have more disposable funds to buy more crypto. Bitcoin is crypto. And by the way, this is not financial advice. These are my best guesses based on education. You shouldn't act on this. I mean, look, I'm just a dude on YouTube with a camera making a video. So I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not your financial advisor. This isn't financial advice. Please do your own research. Anything I talk about, please check everything about them before you do anything, and don't do something because you saw it in this video. I'm just giving you the news. All right. So look. This chart shows you that as the federal funds rate was dropping, Bitcoin did move. Now, the Federal Open Market Committee is meeting this week, so we expect to see something. So look at this. VanEck predicts that the 180,000 Bitcoin, Ethereum trading above 6,000, SUI, $10. This is their predictions. Solana, it could exceed 500. And I read another one that said 1,000, but let's use that 500 number. That's more than double where it is today. Now I always look at, is it possible? Can they hit those? So market cap wise, if Bitcoin goes 180,000, that's a market cap of, $3.5 trillion. Totally doable. There's only $2 trillion of Bitcoin right now. And when you look at what's going on right now, I mean, Trump was in the news again saying that he is looking to do something great with crypto. I believe he will. He's hired his SEC chair. His crypto czars, pro crypto, has its own crypto podcast. So there's a lot of pros coming out, and every week there seems to be more. It looks like Russia's trying to front run the U.S., possibly China, on doing a Bitcoin strategic reserve. Trump also was kind of confronted, and he was asked, hey, are we going to do the Bitcoin strategic reserve? And he says, I think so. Now, that's a paraphrasing of that conversation. He had a conversation with Jim Cramer, and it was pretty insightful. That's where he said that he's going to do something great with crypto. So I do believe it. Now, look, this was not the best week for crypto. The last week, Aave had a great week. SUI was up just a little bit, but mostly red. And that's November. We had such a good November that December's tend to, this December's looking a little sideways. I'm okay with that. And if Bitcoin stays above 100 and goes sideways, people are going to look for on-risk assets, higher risk, higher reward. And as people flood to the market when they have Christmas money in January, I think we're going to see, my opinion is I think we're going to see a very strong January. Now, I could be wrong. So let's look at the other thing on here is let's look at the market cap. They said Solana to, let's say, doubles. It goes to, or let's say it goes to 500. There's 479 million Solana out there. So I just, to calculate market cap, $239 billion market cap for Solana. That is totally doable. I mean, that still wouldn't get near Ethereum's. At Ethereum at 6,000, so we're adding not quite double, so not quite $1 trillion market cap. Look, I see Bitcoin going to the moon in the long term. It just, so many nations are talking about it. So many things are talking about. President-elect Trump looks like he wants to do so many things with it. So I don't see how it doesn't go to the moon. But, I've been wrong before. So who knows? So, you look at this chart right here that, we called this. Look at this. This wedge was created and it broke out of that wedge. I even circled it back in the day. And then I said, look, if it breaks out of this one, it's going to go up. And it did. Now we're in a different wedge pattern right now. Doesn't look real bullish. I could be wrong. But we keep testing lower highs or higher highs and lower lows right here. So I don't know. I'd watch Bitcoin. I'd watch the Federal Reserve this week. I'd watch what Bitcoin does and how it reacts. Typically, if we go back to history, it's potentially going to react in kind, depending on the language that Federal Reserve Chair Powell says around 2 p.m. on Wednesday Eastern Standard Time. Be real careful. I don't know that I'd go into leverage trades. It's a gamble. It is a gamble. You're betting that he's going to say something positive or negative. You're going to long or short, and you're hoping that you're right. That's called a gamble. If hope's part of your strategy, it's a gamble. So one more thing I'd like to point out. I keep hearing in the news, this people, that their case against crypto is saying, well, FTX obliterated, right? And it took people down with it. Yes, it did. That was a couple of years ago. And it's like the stock market's crashed how many times? I mean, as recently as 2022, 2020, we lost 34-ish% of the market. November 24th, 2020, somewhere around there, we lost 34% of the market. Yet people don't say don't ever buy a stock again. People got obliterated. I mean, these are stocks that people buy hoping to retain or preserve their wealth, and they lost a third of their wealth in a very short period of time if they had it in stocks. So no, that was a mistake. A little bit of regulation could have solved that problem. I mean, that was allegedly fraudulent. So look, crypto is not going anywhere right now in this current environment. There's too many positive factors coming out. If you look at what's going on with our administration, if you look at there's going to be more liquidity with the federal funds rate dropping, the interest rates that affect credit cards, student loans, home equity lines of credit, places where people borrow money in masses. If they have to pay less for it, they'll have more money in their pocket. If they have more money in their pocket, they want to invest it. They could look at stocks, bonds. They can look at the savings account, real estate. Real estate's the biggest preserver of wealth or store of value. And they're going to look at crypto these days. And it's just another asset class that's going to compete with the other ones. But right now, the gains are just so strong in Bitcoin that it's hard not to attract attention. And it's attracting dollars. And the more dollars that come to this market, the higher market cap, the higher the prices are going to go. I think that's where we're heading. That's all I got. Let me know down below which cold storage wallet you use, because I would greatly appreciate that information as I do my research here to get a new cold storage wallet. That's all I got. Have a great day. I'll see you next time.